Hi friends, this is Chris with Josephine's Design. I started this video out. My phone was too full. I went in and deleted a video off that I had uploaded earlier this week. So hopefully it's going to hold. I've been filming all afternoon and I apologize. I just need to film, and then I've got to go in there and finish the Christmas presents, the junk journals I'm making. I got to put pictures in. And then I got to wrap everything tomorrow, Christmas Eve. Can you believe it? It's terrible. I've waited too late. But I'm using up bits and pieces. I was going to save this for January, but I just decided I'm going to go ahead and use it. I wanted to show you don't have to like throw out your extras. Find ways that you can use them. And because I'm using a tin, I do have more of a blank canvas. There you go. I'm a little tired. Sorry, guys. And you can kind of, do it the way you want to do it. So this is what I'm doing right now. So I've put my checklist because we've been checking our list. What is it? I'm checking our list and checking it twice. What is the one? I'm so tired. Anyways, but I'm having a good time today. I've absolutely loved all the junk journaling, and I was talking about how this is a great way to save money. And I mean, you know, we have been my husband has been laid off 4 times in our marriage, and it's not easy. I mean, we are a single income family. We were laid off and we were in Boston, Massachusetts, and had to pay our way home. Yes. Frightening. And we couldn't even come home and live in our house. We had to continue leasing it out because we had just leased it out because we knew we'd only be there a year, 2 at the most. He was supposed to come back to Texas and open up branches. And I mean, we were just like, oh, what do we do? And praise God, my parents had a spare. It used to have been a condo when they first bought it. We just called it the townhouse. So we lived there. They were so gracious to us. When my husband went to grad school, and we were retooled. And I was just saying, one of my favorite, when our kids were little, thrift stores was the one in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We would go up to Santa Fe to go to conferences, homeschooling, academic conferences, and we'd see our kids, we'd camp. And then we would go hit the Santa Fe thrift store. And I had said we got my husband a brand new with tags on Levi Strauss jacket for $2. And then shirts for like 25 cents and a nickel and 50 cents. And a lot of them still had the tags on. I mean, it was crazy. Which, I don't know about you, but I can always use a little crazy prices like that every time. So, anyways, all right. So, I'm going to use these big old hunker stickers because I'm just going to write down like junk journaled, worked, that kind of a thing for this week. We're already on Wednesday, and it has been a crazy busy week. I mean, crazy busy. And we've been staying up late working. My husband's outside right now, spray painting. He's working on our barn. He and our youngest daughter, she went out and helped him for a couple of days on the heavy stuff because it takes two, and I didn't want him to fall or anything to fall on him. And I'm going to leave it. I don't care if it's a little bit off. I'm not even going to worry about it. I am tired. And so, but I did not want that there. Hold on. I don't want that on Monday. I want that on Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yep. Because I'm going to write in here, happy birthday, Jesus. So she went out there and helped him. And then he came in yesterday and said, I need help hanging the barn doors. So my daughter went out and helped him. And literally a nest of, it sounds like thousands. I heard hundreds and hundreds, which my youngest will very underestimate. My husband was like, whoa, yeah, man, it was a nest and of ladybugs. And I was like, oh, well, ladybugs are good, And because we live in farm fields and next door is a cattle pasture. But, we need ladybugs. They eat aphids. They eat all the yucky stuff out of the garden. And, and they were all like, yeah. So anyways, but I guess when they're coming at you that fast, maybe not. But I mean, they always like, here's a ladybug, and they bring it inside the house. And look at this. We've had white ladybugs this year. Of course, we've had yellow and, orange. We've had every color. So I don't know if that's normal or if that's just because we live by a farmer who uses chemicals that we hate. But anyways, and if you're a farmer and you use chemicals, don't be mad at me. We've lost 2 children due to chemicals either used on a house for termites or used in the farm fields. And so we have a reason why we're not pro chemicals. We are very organic. And, we have children that have severe allergies as well. And so those kind of things are, and I will never forget our neighbor when I called and we were talking to him and I said, yeah, we lost the baby. And he was like, oh, those things happen. And I was just like, oh, you're usually such a really friendly guy, really? So bless his heart. My husband was just like, oh. And I said, yeah. I said, yeah, they happen, It took my husband 5 years to get over it, but yeah, they happen. So, and I had a hard time when we lost our first child. It took me a good year to get over it. And, yeah, but I mean, those things do happen. And by the grace of God, you have those who come up beside you and love you and care for you and encourage you in those processes. And we had some who did and some who just were gone, longtime friends. And, and it forever changes a friendship. There's, you hate to say that. It always affects a friendship. And so, anyways, there's just a lot you learn in difficult times. And we learned that our neighbor just thinks it's like, oh, okay, that'll happen. Oh, goodness, bless his heart. Because we had been telling him, if you spray chemicals, please let us know. We will leave the property and we could go stay with my parents. And, they live in the hill country and, at that time. And, we could have gone and stayed with them, and it would have been fine. But, yeah, he just wasn't a good communicator. So, but we are very, we've had the crop dusters buzz our house repeatedly. And the year that we lost that baby, yeah, that's what we had. And so we are not big, chemical, farming. We like organic. And had we thought of that, when we were looking for this house, we looked for it for 2.5 years. And the farm fields had been plowed and they were empty and it was just empty dirt. And I wasn't thinking about it because on the other side was the brother of that farmer and he raised cattle. And anyways, yeah, it just was what it was. So I'm going to tell you guys something that I learned. So in the middle of all this fun for Christmas, my daughter was off, so she would take a break when she wasn't home. And my husband, hold on one second. Oh, sorry, had to resituate there. My tailbone's getting sore, and I'm sitting on this pillow, tailbone pillow, and it is not helping. But she's working in the cottage today. Guys, pray we get into the cottage before school comes back. Anyways, she would bring me, I occasionally will drink our local grocery store pure cane soda, and I'll have like one. So she brought me a soda and I sipped on it for 6 hours. I'd had 2 cups of coffee that morning, and by the time nighttime came around, I was like, wow, I feel really badly. What is going on? Well, I usually drink tons of green iced tea. Well, I make it. So today when she woke up, I said, you know what? Yesterday I made myself sick. Can you please make some green iced tea and make sure that I get it? So she made it. She made boba tea that we could have with the green tea. I then went and got a big, glass full. I'm still not drinking enough. I made sure I drank water today water. I was one sick pup. And I just got to tell you, don't forget to take care of yourself during the holidays and when you're crafting, because I would craft from 9 in the morning and one day till 5 a.m. And I only got up a few times to go to the restroom, to get a few supplies. It was not a good idea. So please take care of yourself. Please, please, please. Yeah, lesson learned. So, all right. So this is Christmas. So let me grab a pen. I'm going to write in here, and it's good and dark out now. And I heard my husband come in a minute ago downstairs in the basement, but, he just texted me that he's spray painting now. Happy birthday, Jesus. So we are Christians. We love celebrating the birth of Jesus. We have a birthday cake, I was saying in the other video, and it just means the world to us. We've had it since our kids were little. And we will have a cheesecake this year. So, since there's only 3 of us, I didn't want to make a cake. And I mean, cheesecake you can stick in the freezer. It won't get stuck in the freezer, let me tell you that much. But anyways. We will enjoy it. This is Monday. You have to excuse my terrible handwriting, but I am being lazy, and this is almost just to remember what I did this week for my 25 Days of Christmas. I have not finished it, and I'm not going to finish it till after Christmas because I have to sit and print all those pictures, and I want to get all these other projects done. So, all right, so I've got my days of the week. I guess I could put the date. That would probably help. So this is the 25th. I'm going to start there because then I know for sure. And the 27th. And if you guys are interested in that year-long class, I will be taking registration up until the 27th at 2 p.m., 2 in the afternoon, Central Time. So you can go to my website, josephinesdesigns.com at gmail.com and sign up. We have some spots left. So, and please be in prayer. And I've had somebody say, well, it's just, it's too expensive for me. And I totally get it. But when you look at what you get for a year class, my husband was like, you should be charging like 4 times this. And you would definitely make more money if you broke this down. And I said, I know that. But I want it to be all inclusive. And then I can, build off of that. And I'll have small classes too. So if you're concerned about price, I'll have smaller classes too. We're going to have one for Valentine's. So I kind of want to use these, but I don't know what for. I think I'm just going to put them up here as decorative. And whatever I don't use, I'm going to use in January or in my my private journal or in my Bible journaling. So when you guys get sticker kits and you have leftovers, use them for everything. Use them in your memory keeping. Use them in your junk journals. Use them in whatever you've got. And I mean, like, these are perfect for junk journals. I mean, this will be perfect for a January journal. I mean, there's so many things you can do. And if you're doing a lister's got a list, these are perfect. I know, I'm just cheap. What can I say? I'm going to put these cute little bows here, though. I think that's cute. And since they're trimmed in white, I can go over that. And that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, and I'm just going to put the date up here, December. Or maybe put Christmas week. I don't know yet. And I'll just do that later. You don't have to watch all that. And then these are totally useful in a junk journal. The to-dos. Yeah, lots of to-dos. And I think I'm just going to double layer this on some of these because I've got that light blue and I think I can do that. And that looks cute. And then I've got this week that I can put up here on this one. And yeah. And I'm using the checklist for water and vitamins and that kind of a thing, medicine. And I have work, which I have to do meals because that has been a hard thing. Like, I've looked at my daughter and said, what can we have for dinner? And she's just like, I don't know. What do you want to have for dinner? And I'm like, I don't know. What do we have? So we've been so pooped. And I'm always like, are you hungry, honey? Do you have to eat? Because he makes, like, he got up today and made me a cup of coffee, which is so sweet. He's never done that in our whole marriage. I get those little K-Cups of our grocery store off-brand. They have a Christmas one, and it is so good. And so he's made some for me, and then, which has been such a blessing. And then he's, I'm going to use this work one. And then he makes toast. He always buys this, like, cranberry pistachio bread. Oh, my gosh, it's so good. If you guys live in Texas and have an H-E-B, go get the cranberry pistachio bread. It is crazy good. And he got some kind of golden raisin kind of thing, too. It's from their bakery. Oh my gosh. And we'll do things like that because we heat them up in the oven. So we know due to COVID, we try to be careful. And anyways, so he was like, I'm going to make a piece of toast. Do you want some? I was like, sure. Yeah. He's so cute. He's so proud of himself too. Because like, he never does this. He'll like always take care of his own stuff first. And then he'll, he's just a guy. He was the youngest. So it was survival of the fittest. And, but he'll like bring me mine. I'm like, where's your tea? Your Thai tea. Oh, I drank that a long time ago, I'm like, were you standing in there waiting on everything and you drink it? And he goes, no, I drank it earlier. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, just don't want you to not have it, and because I always like, ask my daughter, if she makes dinner and she brings us to the place, I'm like, where's your plate? So, because you forget. I mean, I was the mom. We never ate warm meals, right, moms? We never drank hot coffee, You're always just taking care of your babies and you love it and you're happy. So I am going to add that in for something special because all I'm going to do is lift these out and put them in my 25 Days of Christmas. Yes, I'm lazy. Okay, so today we did do laundry. What is today? Today's Wednesday. Yes. Let's So, and of course, all these stickers are from dekdesigns.com. And I have a link below, and I have a discount code. And on Wednesdays, she has a freebie that is gorgeous today. You can go look on my Instagram. If you spend $18 minimum, $18 or more, and that does not include shipping, but it also is after the discount code, which I have a discount code as well, you will get that gorgeous kit for free. I mean, it is gorgeous. I'm trying to justify that I need something. I know. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it done this week, but. And she messaged last night, the owner, did you get your Christmas gift yet? And I was like, I'm so sorry, I haven't been in town yet to get mail. So this is my gratitude section, and I want it down here because there's lots of room to write. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go get mail tomorrow. I think I probably should, but I really don't want to. So I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to see, I've got one DEK Designs right there. So I cut these out and I reuse them. I am so cheap, guys. This is how I do it. I am not reinventing the wheel. Ooh, can you hear that storm coming in? It's got the wind chimes going like crazy. The front door's open. We're going to get cold tomorrow. Today, I think we had a high. It was projected to be 79, which means usually it's warmer for us. And it may be just because we're out in the middle of fields. Who knows? But you could even keep these and use these as little white stickers. You could, write on as a label. But so we're going to get really cold. We're going to drop a good 20-30 degrees from what I understand. And yeah, which wah, wah. Never what I want. I always want it summer all day, summer all. I would love to live somewhere where it's always in the 70s. I kid you not. I would be so at home if I did that. Oh, because I grew up on the coast of Texas, and it can get cold in Texas. I mean, don't get me wrong, especially on the coast because it's so wet, it can be cold, and it can be miserable if you're in a wet area, and just the cold is so much colder. We had a friend who had lived in Corpus Christi, where I grew up, and they moved to Colorado, and he came down for a Christmas party, and he goes, I'm not kidding you, it's colder here than it was there. And I was like, no way, you left snow. And he goes, no, he said, it's a wet cold here. And I said, okay, I get that. Yeah, I get that. Because I used to always go to New Mexico and ski, and I wouldn't even have a jacket on. I'd be skiing in a surfing t-shirt from the local surf shop. It was so silly. I mean, I really was a coastal kid. Never dawned on me what a dork I was. Oh my goodness. But, I wouldn't have a coat on the sunny days because it wasn't that cold, But I mean, we enjoyed it. I mean, I would live. I was on a chat today with some very sweet ladies, and we were talking about, 79 here, and someone wrote me back and said, oh, I would love that year round. And I was like, me too. And she had lived in Hawaii, and I was like, oh, like Hawaii weather. And she's like, yeah, I lived there 4 years. I was like, so we got into this whole long discussion, and she was so sweet. Sweetest group of ladies ever. But just so, I was like, yeah, I could totally do that. I could totally. So I just cut off the little tag for DEK Designs when I have to work or I have something that we're doing that day. That's what I do it. And then, so this one is Just Breathe. I'm doing that for tomorrow because I have not finished any of what I hope to have finished by now. I told my husband yesterday, I said, it's like I always need 2 more days. And he's like, we have worked so hard this week. And I said, yes, we have. And I worked hard last week. And he's like, yep. And he's been working hard since he got off. He took off for Christmas, and then they made him keep working. And I got him this morning. I woke up and he was sitting there working on his computer. And I was like, what are you doing? Don't do it. He said, I have to get it done. I was like, okay, well, hopefully it's fast. So I never have a place to use this. So I'm going to put this up here, I think right there. I've always wanted to use one of the cute little sticky notes. This is an extra that Dawn threw in as a sweet thing. And I don't know if it's because she gives them to everybody or if it's because that I'm on the PR squad, but I've said this before. And I guess I'm going to go there. I kind of want to go that way. I'm going to do it. I just don't like anything the way it should go. And I did groceries on Monday, so I'm going to do that. And I do curbside. I don't go in. I'm a good girl. My husband did go by the grocery store yesterday and picked up just a few. We needed chocolate baking chips, butterscotch chips, peanut butter chips, and potato chips. I said, well, it's all chips, but they're not all going to be on the same aisle. He's like, well, what all are they on? I said, okay. But it was because one of the ladies on, or two of the ladies on this loop, two or three, were giving some lessons out. And I was like, oh, love that. So I'm going to put that here because if I go, I'll go tomorrow. And I'm trying to see house. I need to get my house ready tomorrow. And I need to wrap gifts. Shopping, I guess I'll do it that way. I'll say because it has gifts on it. I'm not shopping tomorrow, but I am going to be getting things ready. I have nothing wrapped. Not one thing. I don't know if we're going to be, but, and I'm going to put this here because we're going to be home for Christmas. And I also need to get my house ready, but I'm okay. And then my husband said, I said, why don't we this weekend? Why don't we just do, because we always do the Lord of the Rings trilogy at Thanksgiving. I said, let's just have a Lord of the Rings trilogy this weekend. And he goes, I think we should. And I said, where we just sleep and, you know, and our son and daughter-in-law are probably going to come over. I've been trying to reach them all day. And I think I'm going to tell them, don't come Christmas Day. We're going to sleep in and we're just going to go really slow. And I don't want to hold you guys up. And why don't we just plan on a different day? And we'll just be resting. And this says, I'd rather be reading. So I think I'm going to put that here for the weekend. I got a new book. And I was talking to my husband that I wanted to read another book. And he's like, really? And we were talking about it. He goes, that'd be interesting. And I said, you know, she's not a Christian, but she's exposing some things that are wrong. And, you know, we taught a Bible study on cults. And we were in a church that we finally figured out later was a bit of a cult. And so I'm going to put these teacups here because we've had boba tea. I guess I should put that on today, but that's okay. I'm going to put it there. It's on that Wednesday, and I'm going to put down Wednesday we had boba tea. But it was really sad. It was very, very, very concerning. Even those are books, I'm going to pretend that they are journals, and that's what I did this week. I made tons of junk journals. And he and I both talked about that. He said, I could see why you'd be interested in that. And I said, yeah. I said, you know, we taught a Bible study that was on understanding what, you know, what is a cult, what are cults, all of that. And this church was very, very, it was a very unique situation, and they did it all wrong. And that's all I'm going to say. But essentially, it is a cult. And that's what we discovered. And it can happen so easily. People who say they're Christians. And I mean, we sat and talked about the word. We talked about, you know, we did Bible study with them. We did all kinds of things. And then we recognized it, and we immediately pulled our kids out. We immediately changed directions. I think they also were not happy that I've always had a level of discernment. And so as a result, I sometimes see things quicker than some people see it. And that doesn't make people happy when they're trying to hide things. So, you know, but I'm going to put that little mask girl there. And planning. So I'm going to do planning for today. And today is Wednesday. So I'm just going to put that there. Because that's for today. And then I will probably do some more planning on Sunday for next week. So next week I should be all caught up. I'm still going to be working on 2 journals because our daughter and son-in-law are out of the state. And so theirs is not getting done ahead. My granddaughter's is. But just because it was so easy. I mean, it was like a literal, like that long. And we have had Amazon every stinky day. I literally wake up and check our Amazon to see, do we have delivery today? Do we have a delivery today? Do I need to be watching for delivery today? And today I was in here and I was filming, and the guy's like, hi. And I was like, hi, how are you? Thank you so much. It was so cute. And, you know, I always say, God bless you, be safe, and we so appreciate you. And anyways, it was so funny. I mean, he was just so, because I had the door open, I have a screen door, and he's like, hi, you know, I think they get lonely. We should be friendly and encourage them. And we have a sign out front that says thank you. And, you and for all the people that have stayed in the trenches for us during this pandemic. And anyways, and I always try to say thank you. My daughter's really quick. She'll say thank you, and okay, have yourself a merry little Christmas. I want to do my grateful there, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my gratitude over. And what I'm going to do is just any blank hole I'm going to write in. And I know that. You guys don't know that, but that's what I'm going to do. And I want to put, have yourself a Merry Christmas, because that is, and I've already used that DEK, so I can let that go. And this is an overlay, but I don't have any of the full stickers on. And I don't know that I like it on it, unless you have just a kind of a neutral background sticker. Whoops, you have to be really careful on these overlays. They go down, down, down to Chinatown. Okay, I love that. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Sorry, I'm not a singer. Sorry, guys. I love that. We watched White Christmas last night. My husband, our son has Disney, so we're able to watch his Disney, and then anyways, and then he watches some of our stuff. And so my husband's been on this like Mandalorian kick. Let's watch the second Mandalorian, blah. And that's fine with me. I watch it, and then I do other things. I read, I craft, and this week I've been doing junk journals, so it didn't matter. And, anyways, I'm going to put this here. So, cause we're going to talk to our grandbaby on Christmas Day. We're going to have a Zoom. These are just going to remind me of her, because she's my little redheaded cutie pie, or Ginger. Anyways, he it was so funny. He called yesterday and he goes, well, what are we going to do tonight? And I said, he was supposed to come in early. He came in like 10:30. I mean, he works so hard on this property, and he's so good at it. I mean, he's such a talented man. He can present to presidents and CEOs, and I mean, just a brilliant man. And then he twists wrenches for everything, because he didn't grow up with a lot of money, and we've definitely been poor. And if we couldn't fix it, make it, or recreate it, then sometimes we didn't get it. And he came in last night, and I haven't said anything. He's wanted to watch Mandalorian, he wanted to watch Rebel, and all the Star Wars stuff, and that's totally fine. I mean, my kids loved it growing up and all that kind of stuff. But I said White Christmas, and he knows I love Bing Crosby. He reminds me so much of my daddy. My daddy had brown eyes, and he was as dark as the day is long, but he had the receding hairline, and and just high cheekbones, and just as brown as a bear. As brown as that. I mean, he was so dark. And he was part Indian and Native American, I should say. And anyways, Welsh and English and, yeah, Native American. But anyways, Cherokee. But he every time I see Bing Crosby, I always think of my daddy. And so, anyways, that is going to be part of my journaling for this week. And that's what I'm going to do with that paper. So I'm going to talk about, we watched White Christmas, my all-time favorite. And of course, being a musician, I love the musicality, and I took tap and ballet and gymnastics, so I love the dance as well. And my husband's always fascinated by it, because he grew up in a house full of boys, and they didn't do any of that stuff, and they definitely weren't going to watch it. They were just too tough, which is just bull honky. And anyways, and so my husband's like, oh, that's my favorite dance, this is my favorite part, this is my favorite song, this is my because he doesn't want to watch it. But then when you turn on, he's like, oh, yeah. And I said, okay, I always watch Gone with the Wind at this time of the year. And he goes, no, that one you're doing on your own. So I know, I'm a Southern girl. My first movie I ever went to without my parents was Gone with the Wind. And as a multicultural family, there were things about the South that were not great, but there were good people. And I think a lot of Ashley and his family, who were going to free slaves before the Civil War set in, and there were many Southerners that way. And of course, we're Texans, so we're completely different. I mean, we had completely different scenario down here in Texas. I mean, there's a whole area in Texas where it was there was absolutely no slavery. It was abolished. And so we're just different people down here. But it was the culture, and I understand that. And so I never want to in any way hurt anyone's feelings, because I've friends from all over the South. But in family, my great grandmother was from Alabama. And but as a whole, Like I said, we're a multicultural family. We are anti all of that and more. And we live it every day, but I love the dresses. I love I don't know, just the beauty of it. And because we sewed miniature, couture dresses, and we did a lot of like North and South, people would say, I love that movie. Would you go to this frame? Would you make that dress off that woman? And we would do it for them, and we would do it to fit a doll of their choice, the size of doll. And that one I think was even like a Barbie doll size. It was tight. But we would cut and design everything from scratch, and it was fun. I mean, not design it, we would recreate the design. And so there was a beauty in the clothing of some, and some, it was not as nice. But I will tell you, for those of you right now, and I mean, I want you to know, I have some of the most dearest friends who are African American, who are Indian from India, Native American, of course, and Hispanic. I mean, I never saw, except for culture, I love to study cultures, but I never saw what. Anyways, you know how this conversation is going to go. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why people act the way they do. I don't get it. It doesn't hit my brain. I don't get it. And actually, in my own husband's family, there were two dominant cultures. One which was like second generation American, and they were treated like dirt when they came to America. Absolute called horrible names. And, growing up in South Texas, you heard all kinds of garbage. And, but, even as a little girl, I would just tell people, that's not right. You know how you do. So anyways, but we took our youngest. She had never gone and seen the plantations in the old South, like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all those places. So we took her when we went out for a conference years ago. And because we had considered, something to help my parents as they aged out, and ended up we didn't do it, but we had spent all the money. And anyways, but they on the way home, on the way out, we took her to this gorgeous mansion. It's called Bellingreth Gardens in Mobile. I think it's outside of Mobile. And it was gorgeous. I think I always thought he was Pepsi Cola, but I think he was Coca-Cola. And it was just, the grounds were phenomenal. There was a wedding while we were there. It's just, hot, 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 very humid, but very gorgeous. And of course, with a bad knee, I was walking with a cane, it was just, but I just loved it. It's gorgeous. You get to tour their home, and it's beautiful. And it's not a huge mansion, but it's a gorgeous home. And it was built in a similar time frame as our home. So all the bathroom tile is almost identical, and the coloring, and it just, of course, this is fancier. Ours is definitely more country, farmhouse. But, and then on the way back, we took her to Oak Alley outside of New Orleans. And we had taken all our kids when they were young, the older kids. And we used to camp because we were so poor. And we'd take a camper with us. We had the best time. But anyways, we took her. And it was just so sweet. I bought my girls and I, because they had been to the beach the day before in Florida. And so I bought us all these little visor straw hats. I think they were visor. I can't remember what they were. They were real pretty. You could roll them up and put them in your bag. And they were very southern looking. And so we walked around with our pretty little hats on and made the prettiest pictures. And anyways, the most amazing thing had happened since we had been there years ago. I called my son. He's a big civil rights historian. And I told him, I said, you're not going to believe what they did at Oak Alley. And he goes, what? And he said, they replicated the slaves' quarters and told the stories and gave their names. And you got to know the history of the people who had worked there, whether they were slave or they were freed slave. And